while we're sleeping to go in, and while the body's sleeping, it's described that the blood pools to the liver, and the liver is able to detoxify at night. So that's why it's another reason it's really good to not overeat right before bed, because now the body has to focus on digestion and so many other things. But if we don't eat too much at night, we don't, certainly don't eat junk food at night, eat fairly clean, try to eat a few hours before you go to sleep so that the body can really focus on detoxification, natural detoxification, and also supporting the immune system. A lot of the immune activities. It's described that people have parasites. They come out at night, so then the body can begin to handle the different viruses and bacteria and pathogens and toxins and all the things that I've mentioned before. That's meant to be happening while we're sleeping. So sleep is hugely important for the liver. Another thing that's very important for the liver is circulation. So this is a real benefit of exercise, is to getting out. And when we exercise, it's described that we move the energy of the liver. Oftentimes people can feel very frustrated or pent up, and they go to the gym, or they go for a run, or they go for a swim, or they do some yoga, or they do some deep breathing, that type of thing, break a sweat, and the liver calms down, the circulation, or I'll use the word chi, the flow of chi, the flow of bioelectric energy in the body improves when we exercise. So it's really, the liver is hugely, hugely important in all these areas. And again, creativity and hopefulness. This is one of the biggest emphasis that I'd like to make tonight is we talk a lot about toxins, we talk about a lot about the physical, but when we realize how important the liver, right? It gives us life. When we take good care of our liver, physically, mentally, emotionally, then we have a much greater capacity for that hun, for that excitement for life, for that mental clarity, for that vision for our life, and for that hopefulness, for that excitement that I mentioned. Now, the gallbladder is connected to the liver directly, and the function of the gallbladder is actually our capacity to make decisions. Now, it's interesting because the gallbladder helps us to be decisive. One of the characteristics of a weak person with a weak gallbladder is that they can either become overly indecisive, or they can make bad decisions. They can make overly emotional or very quick decisions. So that connection between having a plan, having a good plan, and also making decisions in our life day to day, month to month, year to year, that support the vision, that support the plan in our life. Okay, so things that cause toxins to the liver, alcohol, things like too much marijuana has a burden on the liver. When people use marijuana too much, it actually burdens the liver significantly. They may feel very creative while they're using the marijuana, because that does do that, but it tightens the liver, it causes toxins, it puts burden on the liver, and then the next day, the person is probably feeling less creative, less hopeful than the night before when they were feeling all open and creative and things like that. So the liver is so important. I just really want to emphasize how important it is, not just physically, and it's hugely important physically, but again, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And the spiritual connection also is that hopefulness for life, that zest for life, that desire to know more, to learn more, to connect, to go for something higher in life, to make that spiritual connection. It's all directly related to the liver. So what we have I wanted to talk a little bit about glutathion right now and touch on our incredible, incredible product, is that what does glutathion do? It is, along with thinning the bile, supporting that bile, and there's some wonderful herbs out there, gentian, dandelion, different herbs that are out there that help thin the bile, that help support the liver, like that. But without proper detoxification, then the liver is going to back up. We're going to become stagnant, and all those things that I mentioned, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, will become impacted. This is the great importance of the incredible molecule, the incredible substance, glutathione. And by the way, the liver makes more glutathione than every other part of the body. Every cell makes a little bit, but the liver makes the most. The liver is a self-cleaning mechanism. Okay, the liver is always focusing on detoxifying itself. So someone just mentioned what happens when you get rid of a gallbladder. Well, the liver will still drip bile. It'll go into the small intestine. It won't be as coordinated. But the good news is you still have the energetic function of a gallbladder, the decision-making capacity, but sometimes that can be impaired a little bit, and people may just have to work a little bit harder. And sometimes breaking down fat can be a little bit more difficult if someone has had their gallbladder removed. Sometimes that's a necessary thing in certain situations. And there's nutrients, there's things that you can do to support if there's someone who's lost their gallbladder for various reasons. So glutathione, a couple other things. Physically, what does the liver correspond to? Well, it's corresponding to the tendons, the ligaments, the what we call the woody structures of the body. So when people get very tight, because the liver controls what's called like I said before, the smooth flow of energy or chi, that means our fluidity, our flexibility, physically, mentally, emotionally, the flexibility in the body. So that relates to the ligaments, the tendons of the body. When the tendons are very tight or constricted, that's often when people have injuries, in the ligaments or the tendons. This is related to the liver. It's also related to the eyes, the physical eyes and the vision, not just the vision of planning, but literally the physical eyes. When we do cleanses or detoxification, sometimes temporarily we find that for a few days, people's eyes get a little blurry or they almost seem to be getting worse, and then they start clearing up. As the liver gets happier, the eyes, believe it or not, can start improving to some degree, or they actually will go to the greatest capacity of their functionality at the moment, whatever the condition of the eye is. So oftentimes, even having a healthy liver can lead to improved vision to some degree because of the liver's connection with vision. So those are the basic correspondences in Chinese medicine and in Ayurveda that a lot of people don't really know about. So that's why I wanted to share this information tonight, how hugely important the liver is for our well-being. So in terms of glutathione, what is it doing? Well, we all know, or most of us know, it is the mother of all antioxidants. And antioxidants are those wonderful molecules that help when a cell or a molecule is missing an electron. So it adds an electron so that that cell becomes usable, functional, healthy again. Excuse me. So when toxins or too much burden on the body, that creates a lot of oxidation. Oxidation is normal. It's sort of analogous to if you're driving a car, there's going to be some exhaust, and that exhaust will be released into the body. But if there's too much exhaust, it creates toxicity. It creates lack of functionality. It creates damaged cells and damaged tissues. So we want to have that balance between oxidation and or free radical damage, free radicals, and antioxidation. So this is what glutathione does. Glutathione also helps vitamin C, vitamin E, other natural antioxidants that we get from our food that helps to replenish and make those antioxidants function more effectively, efficiently, and last longer.